So guys, this is the last Sunday, I think. No, wait, is the 31st on a Sunday? May is just flying by. And I wanted to set up a little bit of a format for this one to see how you guys like it. And we're going to be starting first in a meditative state, connecting with the being first. So what I'd love for you to do, wherever you're at, if you're distracted, go ahead and close those things out, because this is your time and we're going to get really, really selfish with our time. So we know the human oh so well. So let's connect with the being. And what I'd love for us to do is to hold an individual image, creating, just being in a space of joy. No matter what it is that's bringing you joy, this joy is coming from the inside out, not something giving you joy that's here temporarily. This is the joy that is the essence of you, the essence of your being. So connecting, holding that vision of joy, you exuding joy from the inside out. Nothing can give you this joy. Nothing can take away this joy. And the mind might say, you've never felt that kind of joy. Or, don't worry, the other shoe is going to drop and that joy is going to go away. If you start recognizing and become aware of the mind coming in, these are parts waking up. Pay attention. These parts that are waking up, that might be programmed to only let you have so much joy. Because you know you can't have too much. Nice. So allow just the image and let the mind tell you what it thinks, its opinion. Thank it. And come back to this. We can call it joy, but it's also your natural state. It's not something you have to bring in to feel. This is our natural state, joy. And hold that image of joy. And notice when parts wake up. And these parts in the unconscious that begin to wake up might come as a pain in the body, and then you have to focus your attention on that pain in the body and adjust yourself, which means you're pulling your focus, awareness, and attention away from that image. Or a thought will come, you're not good enough for that. Who do you think you are? These thoughts will come. Allow them to come and go, just like waves. And hold this space of joy. Hold that image of bliss, of joy. Now expand your angel wings. And allow the joy to ignite like a tiny, tiny little candle, barely lit. And all of a sudden the candle is just bright, bright, bright. You can feel your light extending beyond your wings. Just light going with your wings, opening, expanding. And pay attention with your awareness as thoughts might come. Parts might wake up. Allow these parts to wake up. It's okay for these parts to wake up, because these parts may have limiting beliefs, limiting programming. And now we gather our healing team together, focused in on this beautiful joy. We want it so bad. It's a 10. We want it here now so bad. But we're feeling it here now, allowing it to expand. Waking up these parts. Thoughts are coming. Thoughts are coming to sabotage us, to pull us back into our habits of thought patterns. And now we're shifting that habit, creating a new habit, overlapping and absorbing and integrating the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of these parts that wake up and create habits of bringing us back down into our comfort zone. Because sometimes this opening and expanding, it might feel uncomfortable. It might feel vulnerable. It might feel scary. And that's okay. Allow the parts to wake up that want to pull us back into our limitations, pull us back and sabotage us, pull us back and remind us, who the hell do you think you are? Allow it, thank it. These parts are waking up. And as we gather our healing team, our focus, awareness, and attention focused in on what we want. Focused in on what we want. Very clear on what we want. We might not know how we're going to get there. We might not know how we're going to manifest it. It might seem larger than life. And that's okay. All of those parts waking up in the unconscious. And the unconscious is an integral part of the healing team. And all of these parts waking up, wanting to pull us back, wanting to remind us of our limitations, wanting to remind us of our programming. All of these parts that are waking up, wanting to pull us back into our comfort zone. All of these parts waking up, preventing us from this vision of joy and bliss and open expansiveness, from becoming manifested in this constricted material three-dimensional realm. But it's here. We feel it, not only individually, but collectively. And there are individual parts waking up, and there are collective parts waking up. So all of these parts waking up, being an integral part of our individual healing team and our collective healing team. Are you willing to share your wisdom, knowledge, and understanding with the healing team? Yes. And are there any parts that are not sure, maybe confused, maybe feeling like you're losing control if you integrate, maybe even feeling like you're gonna die? Are you willing to have a conversation with the healing team so you can make a conscious choice? Because we want you willingly to integrate your knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. And the healing team integrates its knowledge, wisdom, and understanding with you. Wow, the intelligence that we are. Christ consciousness, all that is. Whatever you choose to call this larger genie part of you is going to do a massive rewrite of these parts. Rewriting programs, releasing thoughts, ideas, and beliefs that no longer serve, letting it just release nice and slowly into the ocean, and the ocean just gobbles it up and accepts it all, transmutes it all. And all of the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding is shared with the healing team. Sorry, that was my dog. He choked, he coughed. He's coughing up too. Fears, uncertainty, knowing what the heck do I believe? You don't have to believe anything right now. Only integrate. Only integrate. Only share with the healing team the wholeness and organization of all of these parts. Beautiful. And the healing team is receiving you. And the superconscious that we are is doing a massive rewrite and reprogramming of each and every part. integrating, healing, resting, filling in with a feather all of the holes in the organization of the playing field so that our personality is organized. No surprised parts waking up. All of the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of every part is integrated so we can make clear decisions. And as these parts begin to wake up, we become aware of when a part woke up and is now affecting my behavior, affecting my decisions, affecting how I'm seeing my world, affecting how I'm reacting to my triggers and emotions, becoming more and more aware, allowing these parts to express, say, hey, I'm here, I don't like this, I want to go back into my comfort zone, allowing them to express and then integrate all of their wisdom, knowledge, and understanding with the healing team. And the healing team is receiving you. Nice. Our focus, awareness, and attention is becoming our most precious gift. We are becoming more and more aware of when parts wake up, of when they are now affecting my decisions, how when they are now creating a space where mind and heart are no longer in unity, but disunity, disharmony. And I become very aware of when I'm making choices from disharmony. And I become very aware of when my choices from disharmony create more disharmony. And I get selfish. My awareness becomes selfish with what I'm putting it on. I want to put it on, what I want to see more of. So just check in. We've gathered the healing team, not only individually, but collectively. We've kind of pushed our human out of the way a little bit so that this being, the genie, can open up and expand beyond our physicalness, starting from the inside out. Noticing what's coming up, what is coming up, individually and collectively. What parts woke up as you held that vision of what you wanted to experience joy from the inside out, this natural state of joy, to experience this joy without any guilt or shame, even though we're seeing suffering in the world. Even though we're seeing so much going on that just watching the news for 5 minutes raises our stress levels exponentially. When we become aware of these things, check in. Where are you now? And we're going to give a few minutes so that each one of us can express for a minute or two as I capture those words. And then we'll go through another round, waking up those parts and integrating those. Then we'll do an anchor. And then what I'd love to do after the anchor is open it up for expressing to each other, maybe doing some networking with each other, and expressing what you need to express so you can feel in that space of feeling completeness. So with that exercise we just did, starting from that space of the healing team, and then holding that vision of what you want. Done. It is done. Your ultimate goal. Dream big here. Dream big here. Because we want these parts to wake up that says, that's too big of a dream, honey. You can't do that. That's unrealistic, honey. We want these parts to wake up and then be integrated and hold that vision of what that looks like. So where are you? with that vision of it is done. Feel free to unmute yourself or chat to everyone in the chat, whichever one works for you. And we will capture those words so that we can create the integration.
I'd like to share.
Yes, darling.
I've been working on this situation with my apartment and my mother's apartment and the tenant. And what I discovered this week was, because I kept saying to myself, I've forgiven my mother, I've forgiven my mother, I've forgiven my mother, what's really holding me back? And I started realizing ways that it was beyond just forgiveness. It was also, the scriptures say, honor thy father and thy mother. And the missing component was not just forgiving her, but also honoring her and finding the things about her to edify as opposed to criticize. Although I had forgiven her for everything, I hadn't been taking into account all the good things that she did as a mother and honoring her and respecting her for that. And I feel like I finally come like 360 with that process where I'm really actually able to let the situation go, like let it go, but not like I'm not going to give up the apartment, but really let all of that go, because now I've moved from a space of constantly trying to forgive her to say, Mommy, I forgive you, but I also honor you and respect you because you were a good mother. You did, because of who you are is why I'm doing this self-exploration and this self-discovery and really elevating myself. If I had chosen a different mother to come into this world to, perhaps I wouldn't have done all this self-exploration. And now I'm also coaching other people and influencing other people and looking at the things that she did teach me and that she did do, and finding ways to edify her and honor her and memorialize her in a very honoring, edifying way, to add to that healing beyond just reconciliation.
Nice. Very nice. Thank you. And where are you with this on the scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the worst? It feels like you're in a fairly good place.
Yeah, I'm at probably a 2.
Nice. Is there anything about this apartment situation that is a 5 or above?
Yeah. Yes. The tenant. The tenant is still at a 9 because I'm still trying to process how she can be so selfish to hold the apartment hostage, as I see a lot of people moving and leaving, and she hasn't paid rent now in 6 months, and she doesn't seem to be making any efforts to leave. So that's probably the next step in the process.
Keep taking steps. Nice. And what, it's a 9 you said?
Yeah, I would say 9.
And what emotions come up?
Well, it's interesting because they're not as vitriolic as they used to be. I feel, if we're going to use transurfing terms, I've finally gotten to the point of observer instead of being in it and having that fury towards her. Now I can kind of step away from it and look at it like in terms of an observer, like, okay, why does she feel that it's okay that she doesn't have to pay rent, as opposed to really being in it and taking it personally? Does that make sense?
Yeah, so can you create a slide of her handing you the check and you are just thrilled?
Now I want her to hand me the keys. I want the apartment. Okay. I don't even care about the money.
Handing you the check and the keys. Remember, you want to be paid, so
yes.
you want to be you want it all balanced out. You want balance, and balance would be getting paid for the last 6 months. So imagine yourself just thankful, and she's handing you the keys, and you're almost to the point of hugging her, but you hold yourself back, right? So,
yeah.
So it's like, oh yeah, okay, we'll just elbow rub, you know, we're going to do
It's
an
just
elbow
like
rub.
a church hug, like a church lady hug, like, okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, so hold that slide, activate your wings, and you're just thrilled beyond compare. Hold
Okay.
that slide, because here's what I'm gonna tell you what I observe. Because like you said, you're coming from the place of observer, which is fantastic. But what's interesting is that how can someone hold an apartment hostage? It's not a person. So you took something and made it personal. Do you see that?
Mm-hmm.
So that's really important, that this apartment is fluid. It comes and goes. So this apartment is nothing personal, because you can't, anything personal you can take hostage, right? But if
Mm-hmm.
somebody takes something, I want money for this, and you're just like, whatever, keep it, I don't care. You know what I'm saying? That kind of attitude where making it very, very personal. So the apartment's becoming personal, and it's your mom's, and there is attachment still there. And you wonder why she's not making the effort to leave. And so hold that image. Anytime you start, the mind starts to think, and it separates the mind and heart and unity, because the mind's going to go. It's going to go. It's going to do its thing. Catch yourself. Catch yourself. This is fantastic. So that is a 9 or above. Anybody else? Do you feel good?
Do I feel good?
Yeah.
Yes and no. I'm a little lethargic. Yesterday I kind of just took a day to just lay around and just watch movies and take a breather,
Good
because
on
I am
you.
doing other courses and I do work full time still at home. And this work from home thing is actually more draining than going to the office, because I'm really sitting in front of a computer all day and not walking around and talking to people. So I did just
Yeah.
take a day yesterday. So I got up to go to take a walk this morning to try to get myself in the mode of actually moving to work today. And today is just all self-work day, as opposed to work for my company. So physically, I feel a little lethargic. I'm drinking some tea now with some lemon. I'm going to open the windows. I got my essential oils going right now. So I think by the end of this hour, physically, I should have shifted physically.
Excellent. Very good. So we're going to work on that the next round, this 9. Okay. Anybody else?
Oh, I'm sorry. One more question.
Sure.
So me creating the slide of her handing me the keys and the check, because what I've been working on so hard is letting it go. Remember the whole letting go thing. How is that not contradictory to letting it go?
Creating a slide of her handing you the keys. The emotion you're conjuring up is joy.
Okay.
And how it gets there, you don't know. So we're letting go of the how, but we're holding the image, so the big guy, high five Albert, knows what to look for in the space of variations.
Got it.
Knows
Okay.
which sector to look for.
Clear. Okay.
I have been struggling with my assistant left after 2 years. I'm a teacher, and so she's my literacy assistant. And now we have this new lady, and we interviewed her on Friday, and she seems really nice, but for some reason I have all this anxiety about a new person and what she's going to bring to the class, and I don't know, it's caused me a lot of anxiety.
And what level is this anxiety on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the
I would
worst?
say like a 9.
And can you let this 9 speak a little bit?
Well, I think I feel like I'm pretty easygoing, and I don't know, when we interviewed this lady, she just seemed like she might have strong feelings, and I think that just brought up a lot of issues from within.
So you were picking up strong feelings from her, and those strong feelings made you feel like you have to defend yourself, resist, or?
Yeah, like I'm gonna have to like be strong with boundaries and of how we like to run things, and I think that creates anxiety for me because I'm pretty laid back.
Was there any feelings of confrontation or just like
No, I
no
just
confrontation?
maybe because she's taught a while too, and now she's retired and just doing this kind of to um, fill time, shall we say. But I don't know. I just had this weird feeling, and since the interview on Friday, I've had all this anxiety, like, oh my God. And maybe it's just more of a change. It's somebody new, so it's a new situation for me, getting used to working so closely with somebody, and maybe that's more of the issue.
Now, would you consider yourself like an empath? Do you pick up on other people's emotions?
I sometimes do. I mean, I don't know like a lot, but sometimes I feel like I can.
Okay. Could it be that maybe you were picking up on her anxiety for the interview?
Oh, possibly, yeah.
Yeah, because I've always known you to feel laid back. Yeah. Okay, and you said it was a 9.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyone else?
I've just got so much stuff going on right now. It's almost difficult to even know where to start.
Well, let's focus it all in on a number so we can have the whole list focused in on that number. And as long as you're focused in on it, then the parts will start to wake up. So all of the things that are going on, you know, if you can culminate it all and batch it, what number would you give it?
It's like a 9. And I feel like I did not really do a good job at all with the whole, like, conjuring, like joy and bliss image, because the first thing that came to my mind was something that really didn't have anything to do with my current goals or what I've been dealing with lately. And it was just something that, while I was able to experience like a moment of joy and bliss visualizing it, and then it just like kind of immediately turned to deep sadness because it's something that I know that I can't have because it doesn't exist.
Tell me why it doesn't exist.
Because it was something that I, created from my imagination. It's, not something that ever existed. And yet I still felt the loss when it was, theoretically gone.
You're talking about when the joy and bliss was gone?
Yeah, I guess.
And it's a 9. That it's created from imagination. And so because it's created from imagination, it doesn't exist.
Not in the physical form that I, feel I really need it to be.
So there's a belief there. Very good. Would you consider your skill of creativity and imagination non-existent?
The skill is existent, but but I mean, the fantasies that I create aren't real.
So fantasies are exercising your creativity and imagination, right? And then when it manifests in the material world, have you ever experienced anything where you dreamed about it and then it manifests in your material world?
Once or twice, but not, I mean, I didn't really consider that a manifestation. I felt more like a premonition.
Okay.
And, and it was never for anything really significant.
But you're at a 9, and every time you feel this joy, something pulls you back into sadness.
I mean, basically, it's the grief over a lost pet, but the pet that I'm grieving over never existed to begin with because it was only in my imagination.
So I'm trying to understand your last statement. The pet you're grieving?
That, like, he never really existed. It was just something that I made up in my head, I guess, as a way to deal with other pets that I did lose. But then, I just became really attached to this fantasy, and then it was sort of like it only felt like it really existed because I used it in like part of a role play game, and then the person that I was role playing with, then that friendship ended, so then it felt like I lost this character of a pet that I created along with that it just felt like if I had no one that I was, doing this role-playing game with, then suddenly it didn't exist anymore because I couldn't really hold the image in my mind as well.
Ah. So can you create an image that you can look at on your computer or your phone, or print one out to look at it, to put your, not only your physical eyes, but your third eye on it, to create that image?
Yeah, I mean, I do have those images, but I mean, it's just, it's not the same as being able to physically interact with this animal, and I just, and I was able to imagine it very well when I had someone else that I was feeding off of, but I just can't seem to do it on my own, to
So
imagine it as strongly.
with all of that, you are still in the process of exercising your creativity and imagination. And so some of us don't have that inner visual. It took me a while to get that inner visual. So give yourself time and use things to your advantage, like pictures or drawing pictures, creating those pictures to get that creativity and imagination juices flowing, because there is a belief there. And as soon as you feel that joy, something pulls you back into that sadness. And so you talked about a 9. I feel like I didn't do a good job with joy and bliss image to experience a moment of joy and then went into deep sadness, and so you can't have something because it doesn't exist. And so there could be putting importance on something there, that it's really important that you do it right, or otherwise you fail. So there
Yeah,
could be a belief
I mean,
system in there
yeah,
that it has to be done a certain way. So a 9 is good. And so we'll go ahead and do a
yeah.
round with those words and
Yeah, I mean,
giving you,
I guess it just felt like I should have been picturing something that actually had something to do with my current goals, and that was not where my mind went.
that's okay. We're training the mind too. It just shows that the mind isn't trained. That's okay. And it's showing what needs to come up. So the mind might be going, I don't want to work on that. I want to work on this. So that's okay. You're showing where you're at, and let's work on those parts and get them integrated. And then allow yourself to relax a little bit with creativity and imagination, because you might start, remembering smells. Use your creativity and imagination to remember smells, those kind of things. So you're training that. Feel good? Is that okay to work on that?
Okay.
Yeah, we can start there. Who hasn't gone? Anna, Michelle, we got a couple more minutes before we can do, and then we'll do another round with your words.
Hello.
Hey, darling.
My thing that for the last couple of days, like I have severe trust issues, and any type of romantic relationship that I've ever been in, the other person has cheated on me. So I have issue with that. And while I can honestly say like nothing that I know of is happening, or, you know, I have no reason not to trust my husband. We did have issues in the past. And like, I don't know, like it's just, I'm almost mourning that feeling of just trusting somebody, like knowing you can 100% trust somebody. And I've never experienced that. And especially in a romantic relationship, you would think that that would be something that you want, or you can kind of count on. But again, I don't know that that's something that even exists. So, I have been having heated in my head conversations with my ex-husband, and, and I have not seen him since 2012, and my husband, like, I haven't really talked to him the last couple of days, and he has no idea what the hell is wrong with me and why I'm not talking to him. And, and it's like, part of it is I'm mad at me, well, like, why are you bringing this up? Why are you even worried about it? Why are you, and, part of our problems was an ex-girlfriend that lives in Washington, and now we're planning on moving back to Washington. So, my brain is thinking like, okay, is this going to be a thing again? Has he contacted her? There's so many different ways to communicate with people now that, he could be doing stuff that I wouldn't know. And, and it's like, if he takes his phone out of the room, I'm very aware of it. It's not like he didn't leave it laying on the table, he put it in his pocket, and what is he hiding? And, and I know like the majority of this is probably in my head, but it stems from these experiences in the past. And, I get mad at myself for living in the past because it's done. There's nothing I can do about it. But, what if it's happening again? And, then my ego says, you're just going to look like an idiot if, all of this is going down again, because, you keep giving people chances and they keep treating you like a doormat. And, and it's just like spinning, and again, like nothing's happening. He's downstairs cleaning the kitchen. He has no idea what I'm upset about, but it's
And
just.
what number are you with this?
8. And then it manifests physically, and I don't feel good, and I feel nauseated, and I just want to go back to bed, and and it's just it's a vicious cycle. I've done this before.
Have you ever trusted anyone 100% implicitly?
My dad.
Excellent. Anna, hey, darling. Do you trust yourself? Thank you, Anna. Michelle, Anna is asking, do you trust yourself?
I don't trust myself to not be crazy. I spend a lot of time in my head, and I from everybody that has spoken this morning, like, I'm taking little things, and like, I feel like I forgive, but I don't forget anything, and I will let you know that I don't forget anything. So is that really forgiving? And it's I don't know. I trust myself. I guess I don't know the context of that, like in what sense, like in a relationship or in general, or I'm not exactly sure what that means.
Yeah, trusting in oneself, trusting your choices, trusting your decisions, trusting what you're feeling, trusting what you're observing, not looking past those red flags. Sometimes red flags will be glaring at us in the face. Everybody else sees it, but I don't trust myself to see it. So those are the kind of things. Do you trust yourself?
Oh, then no. No. I've had red flags hit me right in the face, and I still make those bad decisions. So, I don't know. I mean, I'm not horribly unhappy right now. It's just when the stuff from the past comes up, and I don't know if it's a subconscious thing that, something happened 5 years ago and at the end of May or the beginning of June, or, like I've recognized patterns like that, where if something happened bad in a certain time in a certain month or whatever, like I'll feel it again, but
Okay.
no, I mean, I don't trust myself. Let's be honest. No.
Gotcha. Okay, we're gonna wake up some parts. Hey,
Okay.
Anna. Thank you, Anna. How are you, darling? There.
And I was wondering if we can do less talk. Like, I feel when we come and report to you, it belongs in a private session. And when we're in group, I feel would be a better use of our time as a group for us to come up with a number. And that's it. And ask the group to use energy, to send you light. So you, for instance, in Michelle's case, she would say, I'm a 9 and I'm having severe trust issues. And then we as a group can assist her by asking questions like I did, or by asking her right now, would you benefit from all of us sending you an image that you participate for you to hold? So we act as a group. Because otherwise I sit here listening to your sad stories and I feel depleted. I am highly empathic, so your emotions run through me, and it's not a good use. I'm a counselor. I don't need to be in counselor mode, and here am I feeling really concerned for each one of you, and I'm not really helping. So I feel listening is no help to you guys. I feel, can we not go into detail of what we're going through in a group setting? Just a number, an emotion, and the group jumps in, asking you, do you want Reiki from me? Do you want a slide from me? Do you want me to send you love? Or do you need words from me? But different than all, while one is talking, everybody's passively receiving depleting emotions.
Yeah, thank you for that. And we did start today. And then Rowan says, I really resonate with what others are saying. And when they work on that, it heals me too. But yeah, I totally get you, Anna. And we did start today with our focus, awareness, and attention, and coming into that space of the being, activating our angel wings and holding that image of what we want. And then parts woke up. And so we're just kind of going through and just mentioning a couple things of those parts, because part of the process transformation method is using those words, because our words are what we're expressing, what's going on inside. And so as we use those words, it does wake up those parts. And my intention is definitely not to keep you in counselor mode. That is not my intention at all. My intention is definitely to have everyone come into that space, say a few words. And so we've been just mentioning a few words, maybe going on a little bit. Maybe I should put a timer on for 2 minutes or even 1 minute. Huh?
Putting a time will be helpful.
Putting a timer on. Okay, I can definitely do that, because then you're now being timed to let this 7, 8, or 9 that you're working on this week express, and I'm able to capture those words. And then we do another round to wake up those parts and integrate those parts. Then we're going to do an anchor, and then we're going to open it up for us to just share. And if people want to go, they can go. If they want to stay, but we won't be recording that, the networking part. We can just network. So I really appreciate you sharing this, Anna. Does this sound reasonable for you?
Yeah, but it sounds, I don't belong in a group because it will be a lot of talking and a lot of emotional sharing. And I didn't sign up for that. I
Okay.
signed up for us to do Reiki, to do pendulum, to do EFT, and we never do that.
In here, in this group.
Right. And I don't have the time, like some of your assistants send me links. I don't have the time. I block 2 hours a week to work with you guys for 1 hour and individually with you for an hour. But for $900, I was promised a lot of things I'm not getting.
Okay.
So I never got any Reiki. Never got any pendulum work or instruction. And the only time I have to do it is here because I work, I'm volunteering for the medical staff, I do stress medicine. So I don't have a lot of personal time, though I block 2 hours a week to do this, but I'm not feeling honored. So I'm gonna quit the group and I'm gonna rethink where I go forward because I was really hoping to do Reiki with the group, EFT with the group, and I'm just listening. And I think
we do the process transformation here in the group. This is the process transformation.
Right, I misunderstood I misunderstood the private work was going to be repeated in group, and that is not serving me.
Okay.
And
So do you want to go to our plan B?
Yeah, if it says
Okay.
Sunday at 11 or Tuesdays at 5, because that's the only time I have available to July when I finish my deadline. And you cannot go to plan B because you booked Sundays at 11. So that's my predicament.
Okay.
Okay.
We shall talk.
So I bid you farewell and was great to be here with you. And I'll leave you now.
So, darling, we're going to talk though, right?
Later, yes.
Yes.
Okay, bye-bye, everyone.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Did everyone get a chance to speak? I think so. Excellent. So now we're going to do the next round, gathering our healing team, because we are now focused in on the 9, still trying to process how she can hold the apartment hostage and taking an effort. She's not even taking an effort to leave. So we're focusing on a 9 when it comes to what's happening with this situation and my mom and finding ways to honor her. And Laura, you know, I had an assistant for 2 years. We developed this trust, we developed this working relationship, and now all of a sudden I'm at a 9. I feel like, you know, she may have strong feelings. I'm feeling anxiety toward this situation. And Rowan, feeling like I'm at a 9, that I'm not doing a good job with feeling that joy and bliss. You know, it's not real. How can it be real? You know, I can feel it for a moment, and then my, you know, logical mind comes in and says, you know, what the heck? This isn't real. It doesn't exist. And yet, you know, every time I feel this joy, I'm pulled back into this sadness. And, you know, he never existed. And dealing with the loss of a pet that wasn't really real, and it was real in a role-playing relationship. So I'm at a 9 with this. And Michelle, I have severe trust issues. No, I don't trust myself. And now I'm having issues in a relationship, and he has no clue what's going on. And how do I trust anybody if I don't even trust myself? And this is a serious issue. It's a severe issue, and I'm at an 8. It's causing issues with my relationship, and he's totally clueless about it. And I don't know how to respond to this. And yet it still seems like it's a cycle that cycles through. And all of a sudden I think I'm in the cycle of not trusting anybody. And maybe he's going behind my back, and maybe moving to Washington, he really wants to get back with his ex-girlfriend. So all of these thoughts start going through my head. And, you know, I want to talk less. And I'm at a 9. And, in asking these questions, and you know, it would benefit all of us if we can just send an image. And I'm feeling depleted, and I'm feeling every single one of your emotions run through me, and I feel like I'm just in counselor mode. And this is not what I want. This is not what I want. I'm at a very high number. I was hoping to do some Reiki, and you know, I don't feel like I'm being honored. So all of these parts, every single one of them with the healing team. Our healing team individually, our healing team collectively. There's stuff going on. All of these parts, they're waking up, getting frustrated. I can feel the emotions. I feel the triggers. I feel the ideas and beliefs of how things should be. I should be able to trust others even when I don't trust myself. All of these things going on. I feel like, you know, others have cheated on me in every single relationship in the past. What makes this one different? It's only a matter of time that he cheats on me. So why not just be now? Why not just be now? So I can just be done and over with it. So all of these things that are happening, you know, they're non-existent. They're fantasies. Fantasies are not real. And, you know, it's all of these parts waking up. I feel the loss when the joy is gone. It's created from imagination that doesn't exist. And I'm so disconnected from my genie that being able to see, hear, taste, touch, feel something that's not there, the mind comes in and says, that's not real, honey, don't believe it. However, I'm telling my genie what I want to see more of, even though the mind says that's just a fantasy. And I get very selfish with the images and the feelings I send to my higher intelligence, because that's what I want to see more of. And yeah, I know fantasies are not real, but I'm exercising my gift of creativity and imagination, activating the second and sixth chakra, creating a space of possibility. But then here comes the mind with limited space and limited possibilities. And I recognize when the mind comes. And I shift back into the genie that I am, that can get creative, imaginary. What seems impossible in this material world can only happen in creativity and imagination. And I feel like every time joy comes, it pulls me back into sadness. All of these parts that wake up, that pull me back into sadness, waking up. All of these parts that wake up when I wonder if my husband is being honest with me. But then am I being honest with myself? Is my husband being trustworthy? But how do I recognize trust when I don't even have it within myself? All of these patterns of behavior that come up and manifest within me that sabotage any trust whatsoever because of my lack of trust. And knowing the joy of being with a team for 2 years and not even having to worry about it. And now all of a sudden I've got a new team member. I've got to put up my boundaries. I don't know what's going to happen. She seems really emotional. There could be challenges ahead. I don't know. It's a high number. It's a 9. I'm still processing whether or not she's going to hold my apartment hostage. That apartment is mine. She's holding it hostage. She wants everything from me. And yet I'm not honoring. Mom, I've forgiven. I did all the forgiving work. But yet, honoring my ancestors. Without them, I wouldn't be here where I am today. Honoring my mom, thanking her. Honoring her mom and her mother and her mother. Just taking a moment to honor and thankful and gratitude for everything they did that was bestowed upon me without asking. Thank you. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. All of these parts that are waking up. All of these parts waking up within the individual healing team and the collective healing team. All of these parts waking up. The healing team needs your wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Are you willing to share your wisdom, knowledge, and understanding with the healing team. And the healing team shares its wisdom, knowledge, and understanding with you, while being reprogrammed to release and let go of all the reactions, the emotions, the triggers, the ideas, beliefs, and programming that no longer serve us. Willingly let them go. And share your wisdom, knowledge, and understanding with the healing team. Yes. Are there any parts that do not want to share their wisdom, knowledge, and understanding with the healing team? Yes. And these parts that do not want to share their wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, and maybe waking up and continue to wake up. Are you willing to have a conversation with the healing team? So you can share your wisdom, knowledge, and understanding with the healing team, and the healing team can share its wisdom, knowledge, and understanding with you. There may be fears of losing control. There may be fears of dying. There may be fears of not listening. It's okay. It's okay to say no. And it's okay to integrate all of your wisdom, knowledge, and understanding with the healing team. And the healing team is receiving you. So super conscious that we are doing massive, massive rewrite, reprogramming on all of these parts, waking up. Waking up now and waking up as the work continues. As you continue to see all of the entangled web in the present, pre-uteral, and past lives. Waking up all those parts and doing a massive rewrite, reprogramming, filling in all the holes in perfect order and perfect sequence, creating harmony in the wholeness of the playing field, and creating organization. And the healing team is receiving you. Thank you. We're going to do an anchor. So as we check in and realize trust has to start with me. Extending my hand out with joy and gratitude and receiving the keys to the apartment that belonged to my mother, and I honor her. Thank you, Mom. I honor you. Holding that image, holding the image of trusting the being implicitly, but never putting my trust or faith in any person, place, or thing. My trust and faith comes from when my mind and my heart are in that space of unity. And I trust that implicitly. There may be humans on this planet that I don't trust, and they may even be my partner. And that's okay. And they are showing me the distrust I have in myself. Thank you, partner, for being my mirror, for showing me how I don't even trust myself. Of course, I'm not going to trust them. So they're going to show me ways in which I don't trust. Thank you. And thank you for creating a space of understanding my expectations and asking questions and benefiting each other. But I want to come from a space that belongs in a private session. I want to come from a space of just not being in counselor mode, just doing the work for myself. And that's okay. That is okay. So all of these parts that are waking up right now, and all of these parts that continue to wake up with the healing team's permission to continue doing this work, integrating all of these parts, all of their wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. And the healing teams integrating all of their wisdom, knowledge, and understanding with these parts, and allowing the intelligence that we are to reprogram, to reprocess and let go into the ocean, all of those parts that no longer serve, let them go. And the healing team is receiving you. This is our anchor, and as we move forward, we become aware, very much aware, as these parts wake up. Thank you. Thank you, part, for showing me. Thank you for sharing your wisdom, knowledge, and understanding with the healing team, and the healing team receives you fully. And as we go on and process these parts and integrate these parts into the healing team, we allow inner space. We become aware of our thought patterns. We become aware of old patterns that begin to take over. And then those patterns are integrated. Very nice. And we allow ourselves time for stillness and expansion. We remember to keep that image. Even though it's not in our material world yet, and it may get frustrating, we may feel it will never come. It will never happen. But then we remind ourselves to tell our higher self what we want. This is the way our higher self communicates. Beautiful. And the healing team is receiving you. Take a nice deep breath. Let it go, let it go. Let it go. Let it go, let it go. Checking in. How are we doing?
I feel a lot lighter, and I appreciate that shift, because before I was coming from a place of, I just wish you would leave, just get out. You're invading my property, you're holding my apartment hostage. But flipping it to where asking for what I want instead of focusing what I don't want or what I don't like, and asking the universe for my keys. Instead of, and that's the, it's funny because it finally landed. That's the letting go part, is letting go of the how it looks, but just focusing on what I want.
Nice. Thank you. Anybody else? Laura, you said you're at a 5 now? Michelle, a 5. Beautiful. Anybody else? Rowan? Still a 9. Is the 9 still the that you don't do a good job with your holding the image?
I mean, it's not really about beating myself up about holding the image. It's about knowing that this is never going to be like a flesh and blood creature that I can hold.
Oh, you're grieving. You're grieving the creature. Yeah. You're in grieving, darling. Even though it's an imaginary creature, doesn't matter. It's
because
still
I
a
mean,
loss.
I mean, I have this photoshopped image that I've created that I can stare at, and staring at this image doesn't do me any good.
Yeah. You can make him alive through cartoons. Yeah, definitely. Get creative there. Let him express himself through that way.
I don't know what that means.
Create him in a cartoon. Allow him to express through cartoon.
I don't know how to do that.
Yeah. And that's okay. You don't have to know the how. How can I bring him to life through cartoon? The how will come to you.
I don't know how to create a cartoon even. Like I don't.
Yeah. Lots of processing going on that's kind of not related, it feels like, but related. Nice. This has been bothering you the last few days, you said?
Not this specifically. This just came up when you asked us to conjure joy. I wasn't thinking about this at all the last few days.
when it just came up with the joy. And so the joy and bliss image experienced the moment of joy went into deep sadness.
Yeah, I mean, it's more like, I mean, God, I don't even remember what day it was, but I participated in like, a different like group healing session, and I don't know, I was just having a weird reaction to it that at first it was just like I felt really heavy, like someone had turned up the gravity, like it was almost like there was this force that was pressing down on me, and it was like painful and hard to move. And then and then the healer said, well, you're going through a detox, you just need to rest and drink lots of water, and it should be over in 2 to 3 days. And then like I think later that day, like the heaviness kind of dissipated, but then like my mood just tanked. And and it's I mean, I was doing a bit better yesterday, but then I woke up this morning and just really wasn't feeling great. And it just, yeah, not necessarily I mean, there were times when I was crying, but not really having like any thoughts going along with the crying. But, I know that I still have been struggling with some business stuff, and I had previously talked about, I guess, the fear of getting interrupted if I'm going to try and like do some recordings. And then it felt like in the past week or so, like the noise levels have actually gone down a lot, but I still can't seem to move out of that space of, well, okay, it's quiet now, but I don't know how long that's going to last. And then makes me wonder, well, like, is that really what's holding me back, or is there some other underlying issue, and that the fear of getting interrupted is just an excuse? Like, I don't know if there's something deeper underlying that. So that's stuff that's been on my mind. And then I also had something unpleasant happen where it felt like like my family was trying to take advantage of me financially, that I don't think that like they were asking something of me that I don't think that they would be asking if I wasn't like expecting a stimulus check, and I still haven't even gotten it yet. But
Take a breath.
so
So
I mean,
you're
that's,
getting,
yeah.
you're fine. I'm fine. Do you find that you're getting stuck in the movement of the mind and you're not able to kind of come in this space of just relaxing and just letting the mind do its thing without you going with it? And the other thing you mentioned is all of this other work that you're doing. You're doing a lot of work. I would suggest slowing down and just doing one thing at a time. And I know you're in shiny object syndrome mode, where you just want to learn it all right now. But as you're doing this, you're doing different kinds of work, which is fine, that all of the different kinds of work. But if you're doing one kind of work, stick with it for a little while. Let it do its thing for a little while. Allow yourself. When I first start working with people, especially one-on-one, I ask them, don't tell anybody, don't do anything else. Just sit with this for 40 days. And I say 40 days because I come from a Christian background, and Jesus went off for 40 days after his awakening, right? So I'm going to follow that example. And I followed it myself as I went through my own. I wanted to scream off the rooftops, and I wanted to try everything. But this did cause a lot of detoxing, so much that it could cause a healing crisis, not only physically, but mentally as well. So take care of yourself. Take care of yourself. If there's just too much happening here, you might be doing too much. And it's okay to have a day where you're not doing anything.
And I do have those from time to time.
Yeah, and it's the Sabbath. I mean, we're required to rest at least one day a week, right? If you follow that, if you follow it, then do it. Follow it. God said it's okay to rest one day a week. I'm going to do just that. And that means when your thoughts starts coming, remind them, oh, thank you, thoughts, for coming, but today is a day of rest. We'll pick those up again tomorrow. Is that something that resonates with you, that you feel that maybe you can practice?
Yeah, I mean, I do take time to rest when I'm able to. I mean, that doesn't mean like the thoughts go away necessarily, but
Yes, becoming aware of when the thoughts come and making a conscious choice to mentally rest, telling the thoughts, thank you for coming. There you are again, wondering if my family's, there you are again, missing that, grieving. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Just thank them and then come back. Consciously bring your awareness back to resting.
yeah, I mean, that's something that, I do when I'm meditating, definitely.
Perfect. Yeah, life becomes a meditation. Yeah. Very good. Do you feel complete, darling?
Not really at the moment.
Not really. Not really. We're going to hold space for you. Give us an image to help send you. What is that image you want us to hold for you? We are holding Rowan in the highest light, in the highest possible good, with the highest possible outcome. Holding Rowan in the space of mental clarity and calmness. Holding Rowan in a space of trusting self, heart and mind in unity, even though it might look like the family is trying to take advantage. Holding Rowan in that space of surrounded. What color light do you want to be surrounded with, Rowan?
Well,
I'm seeing blue. Nice. We'll hold that space for Rowan and each other, holding each other in the highest light, because sometimes, we're still at a 9. We still have to process through this and allow yourself to be at this 9. It's okay to be a 9. Processing is still happening. Relax the belly. Relax the chest. Nice. Slow down the breath. Gentle. Very nice. Thank you, Rowan.
thank you.
Laura, Michelle, Landa. Do you want me to unmute you? Hey, Landa, you're unmuted.
Yeah, I feel very, I could see the blue around Rowan, and what I wanted to share is in the Yoruba diaspora, the goddess Yamaya. I will show you.
Ooh, a goddess. We're going to learn
Yeah,
about a goddess.
when I could surround Rowan with that color blue, the goddess Yamaya, that is her color,
Oh,
blue.
wow.
And when I was thinking about what she was saying about her family, and I appreciate what you said, Rowan, because I agree. I think as we share and as we resonate the things that we're going through, it's not holding a pity party. We're actually resonating and understanding, and it is a form of community to know that we're not alone in our feelings and what's going on. And it's
I think we lost you, Landa. I heard community and what's going on, and then we lost you.
process there. And as I visually, I'm sorry, you lost me?
Yeah, you're cutting in and out.
You lose me? Yeah, my internet connection isn't that good. How about now?
If you want, you can take the video off and see if that helps with your connection.
Okay. How about now?
We can hear you.
Good.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think that's a bit
Yeah,
better.
and as I was visualizing the blue and having it resonate with how you're feeling about your whole family situation, Yamaya is the mother goddess, and when you do the Denny, when we're throwing things out into the sea, she is the goddess of the sea. And I just thought it was so beautiful that you could see that color yellow. I'm sorry, blue. And with Rowan, I could see blue also, and see it in form of that great mother of the sea really embracing you and taking all your troubles or thoughts or whatever it is as a mother would want to, and actually allowing you to take all those things and put them out to sea so that you could move forward and progress. Because as a mother myself, there is nothing as a mother that we want more than to see the best for our children.
Amen.
And that all just makes so much sense, that the mother would want you, Rowan, to see you being whole and complete and living in joy.
Love it. Hey, darling Landa, can you take a screenshot of that and share it in the group?
Yeah. I don't know how. How do I do that? I mean,
with your phone, just hold it in your hand and take a screenshot of it, and then
okay,
post
sure.
it in the group.
But thank you
Gosh,
for sharing
gorgeous.
that.
And because I've been doing my work with my mother, I've been doing a lot of work with Yemaya. Because I too have been doing a lot of work with my mother. I've been doing a lot of work with Yemaya to help me. She's been where my mother cannot embrace me. She's been doing that embracing and holding that space of my mother and allowing me to put all those things out to sea, as Denny will say during our grounding.
Piss it to sea.
Yeah.
Let it piss into the sea.
Let me
Yeah.
try it again. I didn't take the picture. Hold on, let me take it down.
Oh no, you just take a picture of the card. Just
Of the card?
Just take a picture of what you're showing.
Statue? And then I'll post it in the group. Okay.
Awesome. I would love that.
Okay.
Hey, Michelle. Hey, Laura. How are you guys doing? Or do you feel complete?
I feel much better. I have stuff to work on, but I'm about a 4 or 5.
Excellent. So there's some trust issues that's being projected out, and husband's playing the mirror. I mean, whether or not he's doing that, who knows? You're picking up something. So trust that you're picking up something, and trust that it could be triggers from the past. And work on those triggers. The truth will always be shown, right? Eventually, but always trust what you're feeling. Always trust you first. Hey, Laura. I'm unmuting you. At least I'm trying. No, it's not letting me. There you are.
Hi, darling. I feel much better. I feel like this sense of calmness now.
Yeah. Perfect. Because you still might have to put up those boundaries, right? You still have to put
there's
up
still
boundaries.
going to be steps, but I feel more at peace with it all.
Perfect. Perfect. Wonderful. Does everyone feel complete?
Yeah.
And we can talk to you later, Warren, darling. I'm going to go ahead and stop recording.